Dalek sets, TARDIS sets, Cybermen and Sontaran's character have just released a load of new Doctor Who sets, all exclusive to B&M. There's a few to collect, so does this store behind me have any of them? The quest is on. Hello everybody, welcome to the Geeks Handbag, coming to you from somewhere in the middle of nowhere. I hope you're all keeping well. So another B&M quest is afoot, and this time there's some fantastic sets for us to get our hands on, including an Androzani TARDIS set, a Shada TARDIS set, 3 different Dalek sets, a 2 Doctors set, a Silver Nemesis set, and a new set featuring Harry Sullivan as a figure. So amazing days, and my quest has already got off to a good start because I managed to get my hands on the Androzani TARDIS and 7th Doctor and Dalek sets. So let's start by taking a look at these. So these sets all come in the blue, silver and white style packaging, which I actually really like. Nice big window display so you can clearly see the set, and a lovely little gold sticker in the corner saying limited edition, which I really like. So 5.5 inch scale collector series, the 5th Doctor and TARDIS from Geeks of Androzani. Turning it round, there's a picture of it on the side. Turning it to the back, there's the same picture. Plus, oh, with opening doors, yay! And a nice little bit of blurb about the Geeks of Androzani. And pause your screens now if you want to read what it says. Right, that's it for the outside of the packaging, so let's grab a screwdriver and set it free. So once you've unscrewed it and taken all the sellotape off from behind the back, you can actually get the set out. So let's take out the TARDIS and the 5th Doctor figure. And you can see that the inside of the box is actually the backdrop from the landscape of Androzani, so that makes for a nice little touch. Let's have a look at the figure first. So here he is, the 5th Doctor figure. He looks quite good against that backdrop, doesn't he? So as you can see, he spilt his dinner down his top, which is a bit of a shame. But no, he's been weathered to look like he does in Geeks of Androzani, which is good. So his coat's very dirty at the back, and he's missing his celery, of course, because he's taken that off. And yeah, as for the likeness, well, I guess it's okay. So essentially it's the same sculpt that we've had before with the 5th Doctor figure with different paint apps. So I think they've slightly improved the paint apps around the face. The jacket has been weathered obviously to look like it does in Geeks of Androzani, so he's quite dirty. My only real criticism really would be the splodge on the jumper. It just looks like someone's gone like that with a paintbrush. A splodge would have been nice if they'd have just blended that in a little bit to make it look a bit more natural. But overall the rest of the paint apps look really neat, and he's quite a nice figure. And so on to the TARDIS, which is a reissue of the 7th Doctor TARDIS, I think, that we got many years ago. Or is it the 1st Doctor TARDIS? No, I'm pretty sure it's the 7th Doctor mould that they've used there. Obviously it's a lot darker in colour. The base has been weathered to look like the sand of Androzani. The police public call box sign has also got some weathering to it, and I like the fact they've used this slightly yellow backing to the windows as well to make them look quite dirty, because the TARDIS prop in the actual series at this point looked quite battered as well. So overall the weathering on this looks pretty good. So I'm glad they haven't gone overboard with the weathering on this TARDIS, because sometimes they do and it kind of looks like someone's just gone a bit mad with a paintbrush, but on this one I think they've got it just right. Opening the doors, unfortunately we've still got the big ugly battery compartment, which of course serves no purpose at all, because even though there are speaker holes at the back of it, this TARDIS doesn't make any sound or light up. So that's a bit of a shame actually, really, because I really like this particular mould of the TARDIS, and it would have been really nice if it actually lit up and made a sound effect. But overall I think it looks really good. So putting the two figures together, and they really do look great actually, considering this is a budget set. Both the figure and the TARDIS feel of decent quality. He feels nice and solid, he doesn't feel like he's going to break too easily. And one of the things that worried me on one of the previous sets, the 3rd Doctor TARDIS, was how thin the doors were. They just felt like I could literally snap them off, especially when you have to take off the little plasticky thing of the packaging. But yeah, this one feels quite solid, and you can see it's got a nice wood grain effect in the TARDIS. So they both look really nice. So the Geeks of Androzani, a great story, so it's really nice to have a set from this one. The Doctor figure is decent, the TARDIS looks really good. Overall, this set gets a thumbs up from me. So, the 7th Doctor and Axis Strike Squad Dalek. Gosh, that's a mouthful, isn't it? So, this is one of 3 new Dalek sets. Ties in with the Big Finish series Gallifrey, in particular Volume 6. Nice packaging, great picture of McCoy there. Picture of the figures on the side. Really nice picture of the Daleks on that side. And on the back, we get a really nice little write-up about the Gallifrey series Volume 6, Extermination. And of course, do pause now if you want to read it. So the packaging gets a thumbs up, so let's get the figures out and take a closer look at them. So the backdrop of the packaging is really nice. It's got this picture of all the Dalek spaceships and loads of explosions. It reminds me a little bit of the scene in Parting of the Ways where we had all the Dalek fleet attacking. So that's really nice. Right, let's get the Doctor in and have a closer look at these checkered trousers. Now, I must admit, I always love it when we get a variant of the 7th Doctor because I absolutely love the 7th Doctor, and I do think they managed to get a good likeness of McCoy's face in all the figures they've done. So yeah, let's take a look at these trousers. Well, unusual, and you know what? I think they really work. I really like them. I think they suit the 7th Doctor. It's the kind of thing I can imagine him wearing. Obviously, we've got the scarf, the little watch chain there, which is nice. Tie, yeah, it really is a nice variant. I love the colour of the jacket as well. Again, I just think it really suits the 7th Doctor, and I can imagine him wearing this kind of outfit in the actual series itself. So on to the Axis Strike Squad Dalek, or Alan as I'm going to name him for short. Now, we have had quite a lot of Dalek toys over the years. It's hard to keep making them fresh and new, but even though this one's very simple, just black and gold, there is something about him I really like. Yeah, it just looks quite weathered. Looks like he's been in a battle or two, so it really does suit the set. And when you put him next to the 7th Doctor figure, as I said, they're a little bit different and they just look really good together. They make a nice couple. As with the TARDIS, they sometimes go a bit OTT with the weathering, but on this one it's done quite subtly. It's all blended in quite nicely, so that looks good. And also the paint apps on the 7th Doctor figure are really crisp. So overall, this is a really nice set. It's nice to have something a bit different. It's nice to have a set that ties in with the Big Finish series as well. So with 2 sets in the bag, on with the quest. So another day on the quest and a little bit of success today. I'm here with Reese.
Hello.
He's very happy. He's got a War Doctor Sonic, which he's just going to get out of his bag. Very nice. And I've managed to get 2 more sets. So we've got the 2nd Doctor, Sontaran set, 2 Doctors set, and the one that I really wanted, the Harry Sullivan, the Sontaran set. So really pleased with that. So the quest is still very much on, but I'm getting there. So the Sontaran collector figure set, and this one features Harry Sullivan, Field Major Steyr and Commander Links. Turning it round, no blurb or write-up on the back, just a picture of the figures themselves, and that's it for the packaging. So let's get these bad boys out. Never in a million years did I think we'd get a Harry Sullivan figure, and I really do love the character of Harry. I always think he's in more stories than he is as well, so it's brilliant that they've done a figure of him. I've no idea what body sculpt they've used from a previous figure to do this, but I love his big old coat and the colour of it, and everything looks great. As for the likeness to Ian Marter himself, the actor, I think it's about 80 to 85% there. It's good enough, and hey, they've got the big old sideburns right, so you can't ask for more than that. As I said, they've probably used various body parts from previous figures to put this together, because being a budget set they wouldn't have made a brand new sculpt, but overall it all works very well. I'm just so pleased that we've actually got a Harry Sullivan figure. And joining Harry in this set, you've got Field Major Steyr and Commander Links, which both look good, and they do come with their helmet accessories as well. The Steyr figure goes well with Harry Sullivan, of course, because they were both in the 4th Doctor story, The Sontaran Experiment, and he looks very good. I like his little communicatory thing. I've always loved his little ping pong ball laser gun as well, so a nice figure to have to go alongside Harry. And his, let's just pop his helmet on. Oh, it's quite hard to get these on. In fact, careful when you take them off as well, because they are quite stiff. But there he is, ready to do battle. Moving across to Links from the 3rd Doctor story, The Time Warrior, which is a great story, and I don't think the Sontarans have ever looked better on screen. The mask on Links in that story is amazing. As for the figure itself, it does look very good. I think mine might be just a tad cross-eyed, but even so, he looks decent enough as his little communicator thing, and of course, his laser stick, which we see in the episode. Now, his helmet is very hard to get on, and I am struggling to do it, but why would you want to cover that handsome face up anyway? So there they are. They look like they're about to go out for a night on the town or something, don't they? Anyway, a nice set. It's great to have the Sontaran figures reissued, but of course the highlight for me is to have a Harry Sullivan figure at last. So even if you've already got the Sontarans, I still think this set is worth picking up just for him. So the Two Doctors figure set, I've got to be honest, the Two Doctors isn't one of my favourite stories, but it's always nice to have a figure of the Second Doctor, and the other figures look pretty decent too. So turning it round, we get the Second Doctor, Purple Gillian Brown, and Group Marshal Stike. So let's have a look at them. Jamie, Zoe, yes, it's the Second Doctor, and he looks rather splendid, doesn't he? I think he looks really good, actually. Obviously, they've painted him to look a little bit more like he does in the Two Doctors, so his hair's a bit greyer and his eyebrows have gone a bit orangey, so he's obviously starting to turn into an andrium or whatever they were called. Yeah, paint-ups look really nice and neat on this, on the bow tie and the little handkerchief in the pocket there. Cool checkered trousers. Also, he feels quite solid. Sometimes the B&M figures feel a little bit flimsy, but yeah, that's a really nice variant of the Second Doctor. Do not adjust your set. Her top really is that bright and garish, but actually, do you know what? They've done a really good job on that. It's kind of got a glittery effect to it. Looks brilliant, just like it did in the series. Very garish. You can just about make out the horrible headband as well that Perry has to wear in the Two Doctors. Likeness-wise, yeah, I can see a bit of Nicola Bryant in there. I think you can tell that that's Perry. And once again, the paint apps are nice and neat on this figure. Also, I said about them sometimes feeling a little bit flimsy. Even though this is quite a thin figure, even the arms are quite thin, she still feels quite strong. So I don't feel like she's going to break too easily, which is good. So again, for a budget set figure, rather nice. And bring forward Group Marshal Stike. My word, isn't he tall? Actually, the Sontarans were very tall in the Two Doctors, weren't they? Which was a little bit odd. Loving that goatee beard just sticking out of the top there. He does look really good, actually. Nice little communicatory thing on his belt there as well. Again, feels like a nice solid figure. Oh, air vent, careful. And as you can see, he comes with his helmet, which you can click on. It is a little bit, oh gosh, it's a little bit tight. There we are. Which does make him look rather awesome, doesn't it? So that is a really nice figure, actually. I do think he looks fantastic. So the Two Doctors set seems to be the one that's easiest to get at the moment. I've seen it in quite a few places, but despite not being the biggest fan of that story, I do think this is actually a really nice set. So here we are again, and the sun's shining today, so hopefully that's a good sign. Let's hope they've got some sets. Yes, they've got the Shada TARDIS set, brilliant. That's really cool. Got the Cave set, some of the old figures set, Second Doctor set. Loads of Sonics and Jodie hiding behind there, but yeah, Shada TARDIS. Yes, I'm going to grab the Shada TARDIS. That just leaves the Cybermen set and a couple of Dalek sets. I love how the stock changes every time I go in. They're obviously getting them in different batches, so it's quite exciting actually. It makes the quest more interesting because you never know what they're going to have from day to day. Shada! Yes, never in a million years did I think we'd get a Shada TARDIS set, but here it is. Same style of packaging as you can see, Fourth Doctor and TARDIS from Shada. Limited edition sticker, picture on the side, picture on the back with opening doors, and of course blurb on the back telling you about Shada, so pause now if you want to read. But without further ado, let's set this lovely TARDIS free. And this time the insert is of Professor Chronotis' study with all his books, but it's not just books inside here, because if you look carefully, there's lots of other little treats as well. So we've got the Moment Cube from Day of the Doctor tucked in the corner there. We've got a Vok robot head. We've got the Third Doctor's dematerialization circuit, but my absolute favourite thing in here is that they've included a Blake 7 gun, a blaster. I really hope you can see that on camera because it's quite dark, but yeah, I'm sure there's lots of other things hidden in there, so let me know if you spotted anything else. So enough about the packaging, let's take a look at the set itself, and I love it, I just love it. But let's take a quick look at the Fourth Doctor figure first. So a decent likeness to Tom Baker for a start, and he's got his long funky sideburns, which I like. There have been a lot of Fourth Doctor figures over the years, lots of different variants, but I like this one. Obviously he's just wearing his plain white shirt. The scarf colours have been painted really vibrant. I think they look really nice. So yeah, although we have had a lot of Fourth Doctor figures, I think this one is a nice variant. especially as he comes with this gorgeous TARDIS. So obviously they've used the same mould that they used for the third Doctor TARDIS that we previously got, and it has the black base, but if you compare it to the third Doctor TARDIS, they've thinned the base out quite a lot. So this one looks a lot more like it did in the actual TV series. And as well as the difference in the window backing, which obviously is a lot darker on this one, the other big noticeable thing is the lamp on top of the TARDIS. So obviously when you think of the Shada TARDIS, it did have that strange police box spinning lamp, which they've changed for this release. And it really makes this a nice variant. Especially as that lamp only appeared on screen in a couple of stories, it just makes this TARDIS stand out as something a bit different alongside the others. So they've made a couple of really nice little tweaks to this TARDIS so it looks more like it did in Shada. Obviously it does still have the big ugly battery compartment inside when you open the doors, and the horrible speaker holes at the back, which do absolutely nothing because once again this doesn't light up or make any sound effects. But it is a really nice TARDIS toy. I do love it, especially when you put it next to the very vibrant Fourth Doctor figure. So out of the two new TARDIS sets we've got this time, as much as I loved the Caves of Androzani one, the Shada TARDIS set just has the edge for me. It's just something a little bit different. So I'm here, not at B&M, but the BFI on the South Bank with these guys. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, and we're about to do a little changeover because Adam, isn't he tall, has managed to get me the 7th Doctor and Cybermen set, and I believe he's got it in this bag.
Yes. Basically, it's a bag within a bag within a bag.
And is there a Cybermen set in there?
Oh, let's
He's wrapped it because he knows how fussy I am.
It's... I don't know if you can see it through, but there's the Doctor Who logo.
We'll take his word for it, and I shall give you £20. Thank you very much. Another piece collected for the quest. And here it is. Oh, looks lovely. And Adam's put a little note in there. Look, let's just read this. So it says, "Dear Adam, the time has come for you to add this glorious artifact to your noble collection. May these gifts bring you joy. Thank you. Love and luck, Lady Pennifor." That's lovely. Thank you, Adam. You absolute legend. So the 7th Doctor Collector's Set, they could have called this the Silver Nemesis set, couldn't they? Nice packaging, little gold sticker in the corner. We know the Cybermen hate gold. Turning it round, on the back we got a picture of the figures, so 7th Doctor, Cyber Leader and Cyberman. That's it for the packaging, so let's set them free. So let's start with the 7th Doctor. We have had a few reissues of the 7th Doctor figure over the years. This might be one of my favourites. The paint apps on him just look so clean and crisp. I love it. The beige jacket, the scarf hanging down, his checkered trousers and cool shoes. We've got the hanky hanging from his pocket as well. Just looks really well painted and nice and neat, and there's a good likeness to McCoy in the face as well. The only thing missing is, of course, the awesome question mark umbrella, which we associate so much with the 7th Doctor. It's a shame they couldn't have included that, but I guess that's a budgetary thing. But what a lovely reissue of the 7th Doctor figure. Ah, so the 80s Cybermen, don't you just love them? I think this is my favourite Cyberman design still. I just think they look fantastic. And so do these figures. They're really, really nice. You get the Cyber Leader with his black handlebar talons, although I think technically there should be 2 silver lines on there, but we won't nitpick too much because they look great. Lots of detail in the suits on them themselves, even behind the little panels you can see things going on there. You got all the wires behind as well and their big chunky boots. They really do look great. They're really nice figures to have, and as I said, based on the Silver Nemesis Cybermen, you can tell by the style of the guns they're holding, and they've done a good job replicating those. So really nice to have these figures along with the 7th Doctor. So I'm really grateful to my friend Adam for getting me this set, because I really would have hated to have missed out on this one. 3 fantastic figures, they all look great. For 20 quid, well worth the money. So we're on the road again, and could this be the day that I complete the quest? Because a friend of mine texted me this morning to say that our local store had got a couple of the Dalek sets in, so I've literally jumped straight in a car and I'm on my way there now, so fingers crossed they've still got them. Couple of sets, what we got? 4. I am so pleased they've got the Dalek sets, and it looks like they've only got one of each as well, so I'm going to grab them quickly. So in just a couple of trips I've managed to get all the sets, and it looks like it's going to rain, so I'm going to get these home as soon as possible and get them unboxed. So here they are, the final two sets in this current B&M quest. So the War Doctor set and the 8th Doctor set. So let's start by taking a look at him. The 8th Doctor and Dalek Interrogator Prime, my word. From the story The Time War, so obviously this ties in with Big Finish again. Really nice bit of artwork of the 8th Doctor on the side there. And it says it's from the Time War story In the Garden of Death. And of course there's a nice little write-up about it on the back, so do pause if you want to read. But apart from a little picture of the figures on the side, that's it for the packaging, so let's get them out. So the backdrop inside is the same as the 7th Doctor set with the Time War and all the Dalek spaceships. But here he is, the McGann figure. Paul McGann was brilliant as a Doctor. It's a shame we didn't get more of him. Of course, he has done loads on Big Finish, much of which I've listened to, and I have to say he's brilliant on Big Finish, as you'd expect. So what about this figure? Well, it looks to me straight away like this might be a reuse of the 9th Doctor's body with the jacket and t-shirt there, but there's nothing wrong with that. It kind of suits this figure of McGann. But what about the face? Well, I'm not too sure about the face on it. I think there's just about enough likeness to McGann there to get away with it. One thing that does help on this figure though are the paint apps, which are nice and clean and crisp. I really like the buttons on the jacket and the white shirt. His hand looks like it should be holding a Sonic there as well. So one thing I would say, even though he does look a bit sad, it does look a little bit like McGann, and it's one of those figures that does look better in hand. Especially when you put him next to Dalek Interrogator Prime, who I think looks absolutely fantastic. A great variant on the Dalek. I love the colour scheme of the silver and, is it purple or blue? Because I'm colourblind, but whatever it is, I really like it. Yes, this is the sort of colour scheme I would have loved to have seen in the actual TV series itself. As you can see, they've dirtied him up a bit, given him a bit of weathering, which looks good. I've noticed his little bit of text under the eye isn't there, but I think that's intentional because Nor has the War Doctor one. But yeah, this is a great looking Dalek, a really nice variant to have. So, despite a slightly depressed looking 8th Doctor, and let's face it, he's in the middle of a time war, I really do like this set. I think the colour scheme on the Dalek is great, and like I said, when you put the two figures together, they really do look good. So I think it's a nice set to pick up, this one. And so on to the final set, the War Doctor and Dalek Scientist. Right, nice picture of the War Doctor on the side there. Obviously another Big Finish tie-in, and I have listened to the War Doctor series, and for the most part, I really enjoyed it. And of course, if you want to read the write-up on the back, there it is. Right, final set. Let's do this. So, same backdrop as the other sets, and here is the War Doctor himself. I remember when this figure first came out, I thought it was one of the best figures character had done up until that point. He did disappear quite quickly. I think he was hard to get for a while, but he has been reissued a few times now with various different things changed up on him. This one is quite a nice variant if you haven't already got him, but I do think the original release is still the best. That's not to say this one doesn't look good though, because he does. The likeness to John Hurt is very good, and once again the paint apps are very crisp and clean on the figure. His hands there look clenched as if he's about to go into a fight. They look like two fists, but of course that's because he would have originally held his sonic screwdriver that he came with. Obviously in this set he doesn't come with one. The jacket looks very worn and weathered, which is good, so it's still a really nice figure. And so, bring in Dalek Scientist, and whilst I do like the look of him, he does feel a little bit boring and plain in comparison to the Daleks in the other two sets, but that's not to say he doesn't still look good. I suppose it's because he looks close to what we've seen so many times before, but there's enough nice little differences to him to make him a nice variant. So the War Doctor and Dalek Scientist set, out of all the sets I've picked up on this quest, it's probably the one I find the most underwhelming, but that's not to say I don't like it. It's mainly because I already have a War Doctor figure which looks really good. Also, I notice his head is very loose on this one. Anyway, if you don't have the War Doctor figure, or even if you do, I still think it's a nice set to pick up. And so here they all are, and although these have been made as budget sets, the quality of them is still really good. They look absolutely beautiful, and I'm so pleased I managed to get them all. And I'm incredibly grateful the Doctor Who figures are still being produced like this, and I hope we get many more sets like these in the future. So for now the quest is over, but I'm sure B&M and Character have got some more sets up their sleeves for the future, and I look forward to getting them, whatever they may be. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Do comment below and let me know what you think of these sets, and tell me which ones you managed to find. But for now, that's it from me, so do check out the Geeks Handbag on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget, I do a weekly Doctor Who podcast with Gary that goes out every Friday called The Big Blue Box Podcast, so do give that a listen. But for now, take care of yourselves, guys, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye!